students. This is Veena, Assistant Professor in the Department of English, Institute of Aeronautical Engineer. Today, I am here to talk about the listening skills. To talk about the importance and the significance of listening skills. What is the role played by the listening skills in making your communication skills effective? LSRW skills are the most important skills which you have to develop to learn effective communication skills. So, it is the most important element in learning communication skills, that is listening skill. It is the first and the foremost important element or the skill which every student have to understand and try to master it, such that you can move forward to do speaking, writing and as well as reading. Only when you have the ability to listen properly, to listen accurately, then it will be helpful to you in learning the language easily and also in a very good pace. So let us get started to learn about the significance and the importance of the listening skills. Yes. Now, let us know what is listening skill. What is listening skill? It is the ability to accurately receive and interpret messages. That is, when a person have the ability to receive the information and interpret that message. That means, when he receive a message, he is able to understand it and then interpret that message in the form of answering. That is what is listening. Now, it has critical significance in the aspects of our lives. In our life, listening is the most important entity. We must be able to understand. We must be able to understand and know the feelings or the emotions of the other person who is interacting or communicating with us. Only when we are able to listen to somebody, we will able to understand the perspective of that person and also may be able to do the requirement or to fulfill the requirement which the other person is expecting us to do. So therefore, listening is the very important ability which everyone, each and every person has to develop for having effective communication skill. Next, listening is not the same as hearing. Hearing and listening seem to be the same kind of having same kind of meaning. But hearing is just listening to the point and just leaving it. You're not going to interpret or understand it and give answer to it. But listening, listen. Have the ability to grasp what other person is saying, understand it, analyze it and then interpret it in the form of your response, in the form of your answering. So, listening is the ability which enhance your ability of understanding, analyzing and interpreting. Before you speak, you have to listen. You must be able to listen to others, to understand the context, to understand the situation, to understand the purpose of that particular talk. Therefore, it is very, very important to develop this skill. Next, it means paying attention not only to the story, but how it is told. When you are listening to a story, for example, you are not just listening it, but you have to pay attention how it is told, in what way it is rendered, according to what situation it has happened. So, this is the most important element every person has to understand while learning the listening skills. That is, it is not just easy to listen. We have to understand the time, space, situation where you are standing and able to understand and receive the information from other person and respond properly and correctly. So, listening is a very, very tough task, but it seemed to be a very easy task. But it is not easy. You must be able to understand the person perspective through the message which is rendered to you. You must have the ability to decode from the message and understand it, analyze it, and then interpret. So, in other words, it means being aware of verbal and both non-verbal messages. It is not just, listening is not just the entity which makes you to understand verbal messages. You must be able to understand non-verbal messages too. You must be able to listen to the concept of non-verbal entities too. So, therefore, keeping your eye, giving your ear, and all the senses are very, very important for your listening skill. Now, what is the significance? What is the major role played by this listening skill? It is an active process by which we make sense of access and respond. That is, we are giving permission to another person to access his message and give back the message or the suggestion or to respond. That means you are giving permission to the other person to communicate with you, while you will understand, analyze, interpret and respond to him. That is the significance. Only when you understand the other person, you will be able to communicate to him effectively. If you are not able to effectively communicate or listen to the points what the other person is speaking, how is that you will communicate? It will be a misunderstanding. That will create a gap between the relation and the people when they are rendering the message. So, you must be able to listen clearly, listen properly, listen actively, such that you can understand the other person who is in front of you and will be able to respond to it properly and accurately. Next, listening skills are important part of effective communication skills. Next, hearing is a physical ability while listening is the skill. Hearing, okay, hearing sounds, hearing noise, it is a physical ability. But listening is the skill. That is, you are actively participating and you are actively accepting somebody to render a message to you, while you are paying all your concentration, attention to hear or to listen to that particular message and respond to it simultaneously. So, listening skill allow one to make sense of and understand another person's saying. That means it will make you think sensibly and understand the other person who is talking to us. Then, it is the ability to actively listen, demonstrate sincerity. That is, if you are listening actively, that demonstrates your sincerity towards the commitment which you are given to listen to the other person and respond to it. That shows your sincerity. That shows your eagerness to actively understand, respond to the other person. Now, active listening is more often used to. How? What are the things? What are the elements which active listening is focusing towards? The first point is improve personal relationships. When you are responding actively to all your family members, your personal relationships will surely improve. Not only in terms of family members, but friends, colleagues, on the professional platform, everywhere you go, you must be an active listener to develop your relationship with all the people around you. If you go on speak not listening to others, everyone will start having wrong notion towards you. They only feel that he won't listen to us. He only talks. Then they slowly start talking less to you. So, give your ear first before you speak. Listen first before you speak. This is the first thing which will help you in develop your personal relationships. Next, reduce misunderstanding and conflicts. the active listening will surely make you reduce the misunderstandings between your relations and also solve your conflicts, solve your problems. If you're having a problem, if you're going and talking to a person who can solve your problem, listen to his suggestion properly, attentively. That may solve your issue, that may clear your misunderstanding. So active listening will surely help you in making you better person, in developing your personal relationships, as well as help you to coordinate with others effectively and develops your communication skills. Next, it strengthens cooperation and foster understanding. It will strengthen the cooperation between the people who are around you and also develops the understanding between the people whoever you are working with or wherever you are placed with. Now, what are the reasons why listening is important? What are the reason why should we listen to others? Why is it very, very important? First one, it consists of two parts. One is expressing yourself and listening to others. Listening is a skill which will make you express your views as well as understand others' views. Isn't it? When you listen to others, you will understand their emotions, their situations, their particular suggestions. And when you give out your speech or your response to that ability, you will be expressing yourself. You will be standing in a position to express or give your views or thoughts to that particular person. So these are the two-way elements which are very, very helpful, which will make your bondage stronger. Then, many people forget the second part. Yes, of course. They are, many of them we see in our day-to-day life, they go on talk. They don't listen. They just go on talk. They don't like to listen. But it is the most important thing. First, try to listen. Then respond to it. If you don't listen, how will you understand other person's concern or emotion? There may create misunderstanding. So, first you should learn to listen. Then you will speak out or give your input. Then it is very challenging. It comes naturally to few people. So to improve, you must be more intentional, more active, more attentive towards listening. Then only this quality of yours, this skill will be improved. Now, what is the significance of listening skill? In how way it will be helpful to you in communication skills? Point 1. Listening builds trust. Isn't it? We only go and talk to the people whom we trust, whom we feel that they are our people. So, when somebody comes to you to talk to you, try to listen. This listening builds trust among you. It will develop your relationship. It will make you understand the emotion, feeling and also the purpose of that particular entity. So, listening is the most important element which will develop the trust, which will develop the bondage between two people to make each other understand and also respond to the elements. This is the most important entity or the skill which every professional has to inculcate. Listening. Listen when your authorities are speaking to you. Listen when your team leader is addressing you. Listen when your manager is trying to talk to you and render some information. Don't barge in and go on talk. Give your opinion before you listen. That will ground you in the danger zone. So, try to listen to develop the trust of others. Other can think that, yes, he listens to me at least. Whether he follow it or not, he listened to me. Get this idea from the others to build the trust among your colleagues and also among your family members and friends. Next, listening reduces misunderstandings. As I have already told you, if you are not an attentive listener or an active listener, that will ground you in the danger zone. There will be many misunderstandings happening. So, if you are in a conflict zone, if you are in a zone where there is a problem, try to solve it before you speak. Let the others talk and you listen and understand the problem happening around you, and then respond to that particular situation. This will reduce the misunderstandings between you and the other person who is having the problem with you. So, if you are not listening to the other person's concern, if you don't have time to listen to the other person's concern, then start the misunderstanding. They may think that you are not friendly. They may think that you are very, very egoistic or proud, that you are not listening to them. So there are many kind of misunderstandings which may arise between you and the people around you, both in the family, through the family or in the professional life. So try to listen effectively such that there are no misunderstanding between you and the people who are communicating towards you. Next, listening helps eliminate conflict. Same thing. It will help you to eliminate the conflicts, eliminate the problem, issues. Many problems can be resolved through listening and then providing the answer to that, solution to that problem. So, all the conflicts, most of the conflicts can be resolved through active listening skill. So, having the habit of active listening will be very, very helpful to you in developing the bondage, the trust over the surroundings, such that you will eliminate all the misunderstandings and develop the good rapport between you and the people around you. Next, listening encourages empathy. That is, people will like to come to you. They will try to understand the perspective, try to understand the notion, try to understand the feeling, try to understand the people from different backgrounds. There are many people from very, very different backgrounds, different experiences. Okay, it can be tempting to lean on preconceived notion. That means someone come and say something, someone come and say something. It is because they feel that you are an able listener, you are an active listener. You may suggest something to them. So, try to give an active ear towards others' message such that you develop the empathy among your circle, so that your perspectives, your notions will try to converse with the other person and develop good rapport between the people around you. Next, listening improves business relationships. When we are talking about the professional life, it is very, very important. It is the first and the foremost important skill which every employee has to inculcate. When you join in a professional life, in any organization, first for few days, try to be an active listener than a speaker, because you don't know about the atmosphere around you. You don't know the people around you. So, this active listening skill help you develop the understanding about the people, about the notions of the people, about the emotions and thoughts and ideas about the people of the organization, such that you can frame an idea about the things happening around you and learn, develop and inculcate your behavior and attitude according to that particular organization. So, be an active listener in the professional platform rather than an active speaker, at least for some days when you have newly started to work in any kind of organization. Next, listening helps deepen your friendships, isn't it? Whenever there is a problem, your friend come to you and make you sit and tell all your problems. If you're not listening, how will that person feel? He'll feel that you're not an active listener, or you're not interested in him, or you're not liking him, or any such thing. Any kind of misunderstanding may happen. So to build good friendship, to build good relationships, you must be a good active listener, such that all your friendship, all your bondages will become strong and also trustworthy. Next, listening increases your productivity. How? In the way of expanding your knowledge. When you listen to different kind of people, different researchers, different speeches, different articles, or online classes, online sessions on many kind of motivational speeches, if you listen all these things with a good note, on a good note, it will improve your productivity. So, when your teachers speak, when your colleagues speak, when your neighbors speak, on any context, on any topic, try to listen and expand your knowledge. Not always speaking is important. Listening is also important to develop your knowledge and expand your knowledge. Next, listening helps with learning new languages, isn't it? When you listen to a new language, you try to understand, you try to grasp the meaning from the sentences which you have not heard before. So, listening helps you in developing or learning new languages. Isn't it? It's not written language always. It is oral language also will help you in understanding the meaning. If you are going on listening to a person of different language, surely without knowing the written language or written content, you will be able to understand him and also able to orally communicate it. It is all because of your attentive listening skill that happens, which will encode the information of the other person who is talking and make you understand the language. So, it helps you learn new languages. Next, listening improves your leadership skills. Yes, isn't it? A good leader listens first. He attempts to listen to the problem of their people or any friends or any person. So, it will help you in developing leadership skills. A leader has to listen to the people. So, once you are happily and actively listening to the members of your committee, of your team, of your organization, you will surely be a good leader. You will surely have good leadership skills. Next, what are the ways to improve listening skills? Till now, we have spoke about the significance of listening skills, that which is very important, why it is important to learn the listening skills. Now let us discuss about the ways to improve listening skills. What are the ways which will improve your listening skills? Point 1. Listen to the same. Think over. That is, listen to the same whatever the person is rendering and think over it. Don't first only give your suggestion or opinion on that. First listen to the same and think over the same. Next, passive listening. Take advantage of white noise. That means just be, you're not actively listening, passive listening. That is, you will first try to completely listen to what is happening there. Just instantly answering is not required here. You will passively listen to try to understand the things. Next, read out loud. Try to read out loud such that you yourself will listen the modulation, the structure, the way you are pronouncing the words. So, read out loud such that you will improve your listening skills. Whether you are able to understand and pronounce the structure of the text, test yourself while reading it out loud. Next, get used to different accents, isn't it? We have languages with different accents. Just take the example of English language. One person speaks in one accent, other person speaks in other accent. Maybe it is due to the cultural difference, or the space different, or the state difference, or the overseas difference. It can be depend on the environment. So we will be able to listen to different kind of accents and the modulations of the same language. Next, join a conversation group. Join a group where you have the possibility to listen and then respond to that particular. So when you are sitting with a group of 4 or 5, try to listen what is spoken, on what purpose, what is the main content which is given in that. Then you can move forward with it. Next, prepare your conversation before they happen. So if you are going somewhere and you know what kind of conversation is going to take place there, try to prepare for that conversation. Try to inculcate the habit of previewing the conversation and keeping the opinion or the suggestions framed on that, such that it will be helpful to you become an active listener. You already know what kind of message is going to be addressed. So you can have an active ear over it, such that you can listen to it properly. Next, 10 tips to improve your listening skills. Now, what are the tips which will improve your listening skills? Tip 1, stay focused. That is, concentrate while someone is talking to you, while you are listening. Stay focused. Next, detect emotions. Check on what emotional grounds the other person is talking to you, on what mood, on what context he has come to talk to you. Next, ask questions. If something is not understood, if you are unable to decode the text, ask questions such that your understanding will become more better. Next, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt while others are speaking to you. Try to listen to it completely. Next, don't preempt. That means before they talk, just don't go on, give your opinion on that. No, try to read it, listen to it completely. Next, recap key facts. After your conversation, try to recap all the facts which you have discussed, such that it will be helpful to you in making your listening skill effective. Next, pen and paper at the ready. So keep a pen and paper as soon as when you are going to any meeting, which is very, very important. Try to hold a pen and paper, listen to the context, listen to the message, listen to the information, jot down the points, such that they will be very, very helpful for you to develop that content. Next, say it again. Say it again. That means when you are unable to decode the proper information, say it again. Repeat it. Ask them to repeat it, or you repeat the words what they have spoken, such that the repetition will help you in better understanding. Next, watch the stereotypes. Next, be aware of listening barriers. That is, watch the stereotypes, the different way of communication, the different way of rendering the messages. It will be in very, very different form. One person will be rendering the message in one form. The other person will be rendering in the other form the same message. So, stereotypes. You must be able to analyze different kind of stereotypes. And then be aware of listening barriers. Just understand and also make yourself aware of the barriers of the listening. Next, what are the barriers? Now, I have told you that please be aware of the barriers of listening. Now, what are the barriers of listening skill? We think we are right and the other person is wrong, isn't it? Whenever somebody has come to you and they have told their problem and you have given the suggestion but they have not liked, at that moment, what do we think? We are right and they are wrong. So, this is the barrier. Don't get to a conclusion that I am right, they are wrong. No, try to understand the situation at that particular point. Next, we feel we have to provide help right way. Don't take that judgeship onto your head that whatever I said is right. I should provide the right information. No, there are many perspectives. There are many grounds on which you can put your suggestion, not the judgment. Okay? We prefer to talk rather than listen. This is the most important barrier which everyone has to surpass. That is, we prefer to speak. That means we always feel that we will speak. And we never feel that we have to listen first. Okay? We have to surpass this barrier. Next, we are waiting for gaps or pauses to jump in with our response. We don't tend to listen continuously. We will look for a gap such that we will go and step in and give our opinion or frame any kind of information in between the speaker. Don't do all these things for effective listening skills. Now, what is listening skill? What are the 7 key active listening skills which will help you? One is be attentive. Next, ask open-ended questions. If you are unable to understand or decode the message, ask questions which are open-ended such that you will get good analysis about the question which you have asked. Next, ask probing questions. Probing questions is nothing but making different kinds of perspectives of a questions which will motivate you or which will make you understand the true elements of that particular context. Next, request clarification. If you are unable to follow, try to request the speaker for the clarification. Try to request your team leader to give proper guidelines or the proper clarification about the elements you are unable to understand such that your work will be easier. Next, paraphrase. Paraphrase is try to make logical step-by-step routes of the listening entity what you are reading. Listening. If you are listening to something, try to put up the stepwise paraphrasing of the elements which you have heard and form a sentence, form a paragraph. Next, be attuned to the reflect feelings. That means you should understand in what notion, on what ground, on what feeling, on what emotion it is rendered. So, attuned. That means you must be able to tune to the other person who is talking to you. If he is professional, respond in the professional way. If he is your family member, respond in the lovable manner. That is the importance of listening skill. If you are active enough to understand others' emotions, thoughts, ideas and feelings, you will be a very, very better person and you will become a good professional in the on the professional platform. Next, summarize. Last one is summarize. Summarize, rethink, preview the ideas, notions which you have spoke. That will give you the clear picture of what is spoken and allow you to interpret all sorts of perspectives to give good suggestion to the other person who has spoken with you. Next, here I would like to conclude saying that listening skill is the most important skill which every professional has to inbuilt in him. This is the first and the foremost skill which will help you to understand your premises, to understand the emotions, to understand the different perspectives of different people. So, listen first before you speak. Listen to understand. Be an active listener while meetings or any other things happening in your professional life. That will surely make you a better professional and make you stand in the success of your professional life. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.